up your YouTube, search for Stukeley Meadows, watch on your big screen.
Or another device if you're at home.
Get yourself comfy, this could take a while. What a happy scene. Something new every day for your long-term memory. This is so exciting, it is nearly time for a Stukeley assembly. Good morning or good afternoon everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday reading assembly. For each other we, every day we, to improve we, together we will. Every single Stukeley day we focus on. Our Stukeley motto is, our Stukeley curriculum is, our Stukeley plan for home learning is. 4 words that make the magic happen. Yes, they do. You can probably tell I'm quite excited. I know we do lots of okay stuff in our assemblies, but today I promise I've got something you are not going to believe. It is incredible. Yes, it is. Anyway, welcome everyone. Hope you had a good week so far. We are going to crack on with Macbeth very soon, but before that, I know you want to play another game of Dickens or Dahl, and that's okay because we're going to do it. Remember, if you think the answer's Dickens, stand up. If you think the answer's Dahl, sit down. Okay, you know the score. Just so you know, one of these is going to be just so you know, 2 of these are going to be wrong on purpose. 2 of these are going to be wrong on purpose. Can you recognise them at the end? Really hope so. Okay, who had a pet raven called Grip? Stand up for Dickens, sit down for Dahl. Off you go. Top work. It was our man, Charlie Dickens. Okay, wonder what this means. Stand up for Dickens, sit down for Dahl. Yes, you're right. Dickens had 10 children and he gave them all rather peculiar names. Yes, he did. Ooh, this is a rather odd one. Stand up for Dickens, sit down for Dahl. Yeah, you're right. Roald Dahl was in a car crash and almost lost the end of his nose. Oh, stand up for Dickens, sit down for Dahl. Come on. Absolutely correct. The year of Roald Dahl's birth. What do you reckon? Dickens or Dahl? Stand up Dickens, sit down Dahl. Yeah, you're right. Roald Dahl had a writing shed. Yes, he did. Okay. Whose books? Stand up for Dickens, sit down for Dahl. You're right. Dickens wrote Oliver Twist, Great Expectations, David Copperfield. Stand up for Dickens, sit down for Dahl. Who gave us the words Butterfingers, the Creeps and Flummoxed? Absolutely right. Come on. Come on, easy. Stand up for Dickens, sit down for Dahl. Yes. Dickens faced north, slept facing north. When he wrote, loved it. Easy. Standing up, well done. Dickens born 1812. Okay. Who does this one apply to? Stand up for Dickens, sit down for Dahl. You're right. He was a fighter pilot in World War II. You've worked this out because of the other one, haven't you? Yeah. SEO Trot, George's Marvellous Medicine and Boy for Dahl. And finally, who came up with Frumpet, Grunion and Pibbling? Yes, okay. Dickens. Okay. Charles Dickens gave us Butterfingers, the Creeps and Flummoxed. Dahl gave us Frumpet, Grunion and Pibbling. Some of the greatest words. Anyway, that was our warm-up. Dickens or Dahl. Just going to sneak this over here. let's go straight into Macbeth. Now, you know what's happened so far. This was a play written by Shakespeare, one of the most famous poets, playwrights of all time. Probably ever. This is the abridged version, and it's a story, not a play. I'm going to go rapidly through the beginning. Starts off with King Duncan in his castle, Dunsinane Castle, pacing up and down, wonders what's happened to his army. He then finds out that his general Macbeth has killed the rebel leader. He says, go and find Macbeth and tell him that he will be a lord. So he sends his men out to go and find Lord Ross. He sends Lord Ross out to go and find Macbeth out in the fields to tell him he's going to be a lord. At that time, Macbeth and Banquo are riding along. They come across the three witches, the three hags, who basically tell Macbeth they know already that he's going to be made a lord. He can't believe it. They also tell him he's going to be the King of Scotland. He just can't believe it because Duncan's the king, right? Anyway, the witches vanish, and then the two friends, Macbeth and Banquo, talk to each other, and then they see Lord Ross coming at them. And Lord Ross tells them that King Duncan is making Macbeth the Lord of Cawdor. They both can't believe it. They're obviously excited. Macbeth gets home, goes to the castle. Lady Macbeth is there. They have a bit of an embrace. You know, they hug each other. They've not seen each other for a while. And then Lady Macbeth says, you know what this means, Macbeth. You need to kill the king. Macbeth says, no way, not going to do it. But in his mind, he's thinking, but the witches said. Anyway, that night, there's a big old party. Loads of people are coming to the castle. Macbeth, you can just see him. Painful. He's pained. He's wrestling with what he can do. The party starts. Macbeth sneaks out, goes to the room, sees this dagger in front of him. Then it disappears and he thinks, I'm going to do it. No, yes, I am. No, yes, I am. And then Duncan is killed. All of the people there wonder who on earth's done it. Macbeth has gotten away with it, or has he? And then I think we're on the next chapter. After the king's death, a week had passed. Macbeth sat alone in the great throne room at Dunsinane Castle, thinking. He's not in a good place, is he? After Duncan's murder, Prince Malcolm had gone missing, and the lords had crowned Macbeth instead. He was king. Now he had everything he wanted. Macbeth was the King of Scotland. But he wasn't happy. He was thinking about Banquo, his friend Banquo. Remember, they were on the horses together at the start. Banquo knew about the witches. Banquo knew what the witches had said about Macbeth. What if Banquo guessed who had killed Duncan? There was only one solution. Now Banquo would have to die too. Macbeth rang for a servant. You sent for me, my lord? Said the servant. Listen closely, Macbeth told him. Tonight I am holding a feast for all my lords. Find Banquo and make sure that he never arrives. The servant bowed and left. Alone again, Macbeth thought of his best friend Banquo, who would soon be dead. Now Macbeth started to worry again, just like he did with the king. Should he have sent the servant to get Banquo? A sick feeling swept over him, of fear, sadness, and terrible, terrible guilt. His life was turning into a nightmare. It's his own fault. That night, two horsemen trotted through a gloomy forest on their way to the feast. It was Banquo and his son, Fleance. I think we say it Fleance. I did Google it, I've forgotten what it said. So we've got Banquo and Fleance. We know that Banquo's going to get killed soon. Well, we think he is. Fleance shivered and pulled his cloak tightly round his shoulders. Looks like rain, grumbled Banquo. Let it pour, said a voice from The bushes. Oh, no way! Before Banquo could react, he was on the ground with someone's knee on his chest. Men stood all around with their daggers gleaming in the dark. Someone catch his son! Someone said, run! Banquo howled at Fleance. The terrified boy turned his horse and sped off as fast as he could. Banquo reached for his sword, but it was too far away. There was nothing he could do. He closed his eyes and the daggers came closer. Next chapter's called The Haunting. Macbeth's feast was nearly over when something terrible happened. He looked around at the happy, smiling guests, and then he froze. At the end of the table was Banquo. Macbeth stumbled to his feet, and cried out in fear, and at once everyone stopped talking. What's wrong, my dearest? Asked Lady Macbeth. You should be dead, croaked Macbeth, pointing at Banquo. But nobody could see Banquo. All they could see was an empty place. Banquo's face was deathly white and his clothes were stained in blood. He glared at Macbeth, saying nothing. It must have been a ghost, said Macbeth. It wasn't me. I didn't kill you. But the ghost had gone. The people around the table grew restless. Oh, this is incredible. Get out, shouted Macbeth. All of you, leave me alone. The puzzled lords stood and hurried out, casting worried glances at their king. In minutes, only Macbeth and his wife were left. He turned to her and saw that her eyes were filling with tears. Can we ever forget what we've done? She wept. Macbeth took her hand and tried to comfort her, but she wouldn't look at him. Murder was driving them apart. We're going to stop there. Now look, I know it's quite gruesome. I know there's quite a lot going on here, but I also know how interested lots of you are in where this is going to go. Macbeth is an angry man, then he regrets it. He's angry, he regrets it. Lots of people have lost their lives now because he is greedy. He's the king and he wants more, and his wife is encouraging him, or is she? It's a very strange setup. Anyway, more of that next week, maybe 2 more weeks and we're done. And I'm telling you now, we're going to read A Christmas Carol after that. We've done Dickens' A Christmas Carol before. Have we done it a couple of times? We've done it before. Just like when we went back to Great Expectations, I love going back to things. I absolutely love retrieving, going back to what we know. It's brilliant. Okay, now I told you something exciting was coming up. Brand new Cheer Boo Song or Silence today, and we've got somebody that I bet you never thought you would see in the Cheer Boo Song or Silence studio. Check this out. Will they get to cheer or will they get to boo? With either one there must not be violence. They may well get a song, but it will not last that long. We really hope they do not get silence. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Cheer Boo Song or Silence studio. I cannot tell you how excited I am, because behind the curtain we have a visitor to our school. We have the mascot of Peterborough United Football Club, Peter Burrow, behind the curtain right now. I'm not joking. Is he going to get a cheer, a boo, a song or a silence? What do you think he's going to get? Oh, this is one of the best we've ever done. What do you think? I really hope this is his first time. I really hope this is a good one. Out you come, Peter Burrow! He's not taking it well. See you next time on Cheer Boo Song or Silence. Will they get a cheer or will they get a boo? With either one there must not be violence. They may well get a song, but it will not last that long. We really hope they do not get silence. I know, I told you it was a good one. Now, I don't want to tease you too much, I don't want to wind you up too much, but you're going to see Peterborough again on Friday. He's coming back for our celebration assembly because he's got some brilliant news for you. So keep tuned and watch out for that. It's going to be amazing. Okay, birthdays. Hey, 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 it's time to say we've got a Stukeley birthday. Hey, 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 it's time to say we've got a Stukeley birthday. Oh, come on! Nope, no birthdays. Let's finish off with everyday knowledge for you. And we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you. And we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you. We're going to go right back. We're going to go old school, back to where it all began. How many seconds in a minute? That's it, 60. How many minutes in an hour? That's it, 60. Hang on. I'll tell you what's getting on my nerves. You're not waiting for the fingers to point. You only say the answer when the finger points then, right now. So, 1, 2, 3, wait. Now say the answer. Wait until you see my fingertips. Please, it spoils it for everyone. Come on, Stukeley Meadows. How many hours in a day? That's right. Whoa, 24. How many days in a week? That's right, 7. How many days in a month? Well, 30 days has September, April, June and November. How many days does February have? 28, 29 in the leap year. How many days do the other months have? 31, that's correct. Let's say the months of the year in order. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. How many days in a leap year? 366. How many months in a year? Oh, 12. Okay, how many years in a decade? 10. How many years in a century? Yes, 100. How many millimetres in a centimetre? Yes, 10. How many centimetres in a metre? 100. How many metres in a kilometre? 1,000. How many kilometres in a mile? 1.6. Years. In which year was the Great Fire of London? 1666. In which year was the Battle of Bannockburn? 1314. In which year was the Battle of Hastings? 1066. In which year was the Gunpowder Plot with Guy Fawkes? 1605. In which year was the first person on the moon? 1969. In which year Charles Dickens born? 1812. Oh, here's a good one. In which year was Roald Dahl born? 1916. In which year did England men win the World Cup in football? 1966. Who scored a hat-trick in the final? Jeff Hurst. Which country did we play the final against? England versus West Germany. And where was that final played? Wembley. See you next time.